we'll do some of the mods that will improve pellet transportation and trigger feel. So what I've done with my cartridge, let's zoom in again. Alright, you can see the cartridge. Right, what I've done with my cartridge is that it's been greased, as you know, to describe it. I've actually taken it apart, but you don't need to take it apart. You just cover everything in a fine grease. Well, I tend to, believe it or not, I actually use an axle grease. If you lift it out a little bit, you can probably see that it's quite wet inside. And I found just smearing some grease in there over the whole thing and moving it around, and that does improve the mechanism. The next improvement is how to put the pellets in. That took a while to go and get sorted out. Right. Seems to work, and you don't get any jams if the pellets are seated properly. And the only way to describe seated properly is when you put your pellet in and push it down. But I found if you actually then, with a biro, just clip it a little bit further and do that with each one. And I'll go around and do all of them. It actually goes down with a click. And that makes quite a big improvement. So checking round so you can see the actual pellet coming up the top. Right, so that's as we come around the top. And it's still below the level there. And that does make quite an improvement on repeatability. The other mod I've carried out is to the mechanism itself. So obviously I'll take it down. Where are we? There we are. Right, the best way to explain it is to take the gun apart so you can get at the mechanism. So let's do that now. So let's knock the pins out. So make sure your takedown lever is pushed back up. I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, it's just the way I'm doing it. Obviously it invalidates any warranties you've got. Right, you can now take out the pins. Remember which side they went in from. Yes, I'm a bit of a butcher, but you don't have to do what I'm doing. Right, so taking both the pins out, we're now able to move up and take out the mechanism. So we can put that to one side. So we now have the complete mechanism in front of us. Don't forget, some bits will drop out. Bits will drop off the back, but don't let that worry you. Rightio. So I'll just put the bits back that fell out. Right, so there's a pin that goes in there, so make sure that doesn't fall out, just like that did. And you've got the back part of the trigger. Now then, what we do is we go down into, let's bring it up, into this area, which is when you pull the trigger you can see there's various bits moving. Now I found a good liberal amount of grease in that area and around the trigger. Does make things a lot easier to move. So that's that side of it. So we can then put it back together, which is easier said than done. We'll actually take the barrel off, so that will probably make it a bit easier to put in. So then we drop in, trigger in first, load down the back bit. Don't forget to put that part in at the back, whichever way around it goes. Obviously that wants to go in first. Not something I do every day, so I'm a bit, oh, it goes that way round, right, okay. So you can see which way that went in. Then that locks onto the plastic at the back. And then we've got to make sure where the takedown lever is, because we need to put, right, when we operate the takedown lever, I can't operate it because I've put that bit in the wrong place. So pulling back up again, and then slide that piece out, as you can see, with the takedown lever straight. You can see that, let's take it out so I can show you. There's a slot on there, and that slot engages in the takedown lever pin there, if you can see it. So it's important that those two line up with each other. So bring the pin up, engage it, and bring it up so you can see what I'm doing. Engage that into the slot like that, and then load it all down in, and go to the back, and that's all down. That's gone back in there nice and tight. So now we put on the recoil, whatever you want to call it, spring system. So that goes in, as you can see, that way up. Then the barrel, not forgetting the flat top to the top. Push the lever down, and that's the barrel firmly located in there. So we can now put the pins back in. Doesn't matter which side the pins go in. Time to put them in from the direction they came out from. Lock them in until there's a little bit showing, and operate it a few times to make sure that you have put everything back together as it should be, and then you can carry on locking in the pins. I'm doing something very naughty. I'm using a drill as a punch, not the right thing to do. There's a lot of things I do that aren't right, but I'm still alive, only just, of course. That pin's in. That pin's in, that can go down a bit more. Just clean both sides. So we can now put barrel back on, which we know is tight because of the mod I've got. take down lever up, back, right, and then we can load up. Bearing in mind now I've actually got a pellet in there, so it's armed. Loading back in, and obviously I'm not going to fire it here, otherwise I'm going to break my computer screen. So I'll just move it over and aim into my target, which I've got close to me. Hope that's been of use to you. If it's not, well, that's life, I'm afraid, but it was of use to me. So thank you for watching, and have fun